I tested 3 tools to improve your mitochondrial health: defrag, reduce heavy isotopes in your body, and help your mitochondria function better independently. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what happened when I tried each one. What's the point of trying these things? What does the research say? And what would I do if I have to go back, and redo it? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emmanuel Arbani. I've helped over 200 men and women improve their health and their various mitochondrial health conditions through a nature first lens. And I'm just going to jump right into this video. So, the 3 tools that I tested. One was a vibration plate that was reported to go up to 40 hertz, which I did not test independently whether it actually went up to 40 hertz. So that was mechanical vibration. The second was a 40 hertz tuning fork. And the third is a transauricular vagal nerve stimulator. It goes right here. A vagal nerve stimulator, basically, non invasive. So I tested all 3 of these individually and separately. So I did the vibration plate for a couple of weeks, and then that was before my trip to El Salvador. Then when I came back from El Salvador, I tested the 40 hertz tuning fork. That was a few weeks that I tested it. So it's not a huge period of time. And then very recently, I tested a vagal nerve stimulator, and it's called the Who List. I don't have a code or anything like that, but I've asked them for one. So I've included the link in the description of the video. With the vibration plate, I found very interesting because oftentimes vibration plates and I'm blanking out on it right now, trampolines, right? Mini trampolines or rebounders, whatever they're called. They are like compared, but I found them to be very, very, very different tools. From the vibration plate, one of the most noticeable differences was that because I tested it when I had lost my voice due to doing a lot of cold thermogenesis or cold therapy with a compression shirt. And I had basically depleted deuterium too fast and it got stuck. I wouldn't say depleted deuterium too fast, but the depletion literally got stuck in my voice box and I lost my voice. So the vibration plate actually helped me get my voice back temporarily after I would use it. And the other most interesting thing about it is that it would loosen my jaw. My jaw locks. I had TMJ. The only thing remaining is that it makes crackling noises and occasionally gets into weird positions. And this was significantly reduced by the vibration plate, again, temporarily. I would jump on it, I would experience a change, and then I would end up having to jump on it again to experience it again. I hope that makes sense. I did not notice anything else in particular in the short several weeks that I tested the vibration plate. It felt nice. I found it to be a good tool. And honestly, I would have kept going with it just for the fact of how it affected my jaw, just to see what that would result in. But then that was right before my trip to El Salvador, so that cut that experiment short. Then when I came back and I got a 40 hertz vibration tuning fork, I've never used a tuning fork before. So this is my disclaimer to you. If you're watching this and you have experience with tuning forks, maybe I used it wrong. I don't know. I watched some videos. I bought a 40 hertz tuning fork, like one of the few weighted actual 40 hertz forks that I could actually find. And I tested it on all different places in my body. I tested it here. I tested it behind my ear, which I later found out that the reason why that was the most pleasant was because I was likely stimulating my vagus nerve. I tested it here. I tested it on my chest, like in the on the sternum. I tested it in so many different places. And honestly, it was relaxing. My daughter used to ask for it because she thought it was relaxing. But I found it the least convenient for me to use because when you have to strike the fork. And again, I've never used a tuning fork before this, you know. and then you place it on, you want to do it multiple times. So if I'm striking the fork and I'm putting it here, I'm doing it multiple times. And the process in and of itself, it requires precision to do. I don't know. I just found it really inconvenient. I didn't want to use it anymore after a few weeks of doing it because I didn't notice anything at all. It was nice. Did it really change anything? No, not really. Could I maybe have tried it for longer? Maybe I wasn't using it properly. Totally a possibility. But I found it so inconvenient to use, I stopped using it. Then, very recently, I tried the Hulis vagal nerve stimulator, which goes right over here. And I have to say that that one by far produced the most profound and noticeable results out of all of them. And I'm going to talk about cost in a second. So, I immediately felt calmer and relaxed after using the vagal nerve stimulator. My daughter experienced a very immediate and quick building positive effects from it. So, for example, she would complain of pain before bed, like growing pains almost, and we are in a consistent like month-long sunrise streak, seeing the horizon with the kids, but she was still taking her a long time to fall asleep. I've shared this before on my channel, but if you're new here, essentially I had fixed all of her sleep problems, and then we moved into this house where we are temporarily, and a lot of them came back. Not exactly the same as before, but they came back. And frankly, it's because my house, from an EMF perspective, is horrendous, even though I've spent thousands of dollars mitigating it. I've linked the video about more details on that at the end screen, so you can check that out after if you like. Anyways, I've been kind of trying to play catch up. While we're not in here for that much longer, there's something that I need to do, obviously, so I've been testing all sorts of things to see what's the best value and what's the best results, not just for me, but because I'm just an experimenter at heart. So for her, the calmness, relaxation, the ease of falling asleep, the reduced need to go and seek us out in the middle of the night if she woke up. So if she would previously wake up and need to use the washroom, she would come to our bed with the vagal nerve stimulator. It was not like an immediate cause and effect, but slowly that happens less and less. And I did do a week where I took it away, and I saw a rapid increase and uptick of all the other habits in her that had, begun to reduce themselves with using the vagal nerve stimulator. She's 8, in case anyone's wondering and wants to use the VNS in their kids. For me, I found it extremely relaxing. I also found it, I've shared before, that in this house, I would sometimes wake up with a racing heart rate. I found that resolved that issue instantaneously. It also significantly decreased hunger in the house, or hunger when I'm in situations of really bad environments. It really caught that hunger. It regulated the way I need food in that sense. It just made things easy. So easy for me to eat 2 meals a day and not think about it when I'm using it regularly. I go through tons of tools, most of them just entirely nature-based, and some actual tools themselves in Nature's Mitochondrial Toolkit, which, by the way, has just come out. All those of you who are on the wait list, I know most of you grabbed it already, and I'm hearing awesome things about it. And if you want to check that out, I've linked that. It's the first link there in the description. But it's basically a huge collection of all of nature's tools. So how you're maximizing your use of the sun, how you're maximizing your use of water, magnetic fields, all of these things. There's 6 categories, including a miscellaneous category where I talk in detail about tools like this. Now, let's take a step back and consider for a minute, why would you want to try these tools? So there's some research specifically around 40 hertz that shows really interesting effects on how they affect your brain. So, your brain function, memory, mitochondrial function, mitochondrial health, biogenesis, your cleanup, mechanisms in your body like autophagy and your circadian signaling molecules are affected. There's also some research that suggests it might stimulate your vagus nerve. Now, obviously, if you were to go and pull those papers yourself, you would read them. And if you're a skeptic, you may be like, or if you use AI is going to be like, well, there's no real direct proof and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you can't wait for a paper to try harmless tricks that have a fundamental basis in the way your body works and in physics. Like something that has been tested and tried and true over and over again, like physics. It's not the Newtonian kind, because that's been already debunked multiple times. Otherwise, a hot metal bench in the sun would be freezing cold. I like to remind people of that. This is the key takeaway here. If I had waited for a paper, for somebody to definitively be able to tell me, or for me to definitively determine the vagal nerve stimulator is 100% going to help me, or the vibration plate's 100% going to help me, I would have never gotten here today. I got here, I fixed so many of my health issues so fast because I didn't wait for the proof. I just tried things and tried things and tried things over and over again. That's the bottom line of this. And obviously, I have to say that there's a few reasons why I'm able to observe effects of tips and tricks and tools like this so quickly. One of the main reasons is because my body's signals to me are no longer extremely chaotic. I've reset leptin. I'm back in a strict resetting leptin phase while I remain here before I leave this house to support my body. I've been watching the sunrise for 3.5 years. I have extensively developed my tan. I've spent multiple healing vacations in El Salvador. Like, I've done so many fundamental things that actually help my body communicate to me clearly. This is important because if your body's in a state of chaos, it's really difficult for you to understand what is doing what to you. That's kind of what my intro courses do and all that. It's like, let's clean up the mess. Let's take you step by step and make sure you're not missing anything. Anyways, enough about that. The end thing that you want to take away from this video is that let's consider the cost. So the 40 hertz tuning fork is around, let's say $70 to $90 US, depending on whether you're getting it from like a company that specifically makes tuning forks or you're trying to get it from like just some Chinese manufacturer. A vibration plate that is apparently proven to go to 40 hertz will take you in around the $400 range, whereas the one that I had was about $120 US. I think it was inexpensive. Did it really take me up to 40 hertz? I don't know. The vagal nerve stimulator, the Hulis, is extremely inexpensive. I think at the moment it's like $200 US or $199, something like that. It was such a great investment. Like, compared to all of them, the effects were much more long lasting, much more added up, that if I had to do it all over again, I'd just go straight for the Hulis and forget the rest. Are there other really great, more research backed with more papers, published papers, right? Vagal nerve stimulators, the non-invasive kind. Yeah, there are, and you're welcome to try them. Again, in Nature's Mitochondrial Toolkit, I go over how to choose a vagal nerve stimulator, but I ended up choosing this one for a few reasons. It's small, discreet, it's easy, and it's definitely the one that I would do again if I had to repeat it all over again. So if you are wanting to know what happened to me and why this house sucks so much, you're welcome to click the video and the end screen, and I'll see you there.